Gemini had three basic objectives. One was the long duration. The second one was rendezvous and docking. The third objective of Gemini was extravehicular activity, spacewalking. Gemini VII was a 14-day endurance mission. That was its primary objective, was to test the medical effects of being in weightlessness for the longest duration lunar landing mission of Apollo. So it was an endurance test for Frank Borman and Jim Lovell, more than anything else. The spacecraft you see at the Udvar-Hazy Center is the final landing configuration of Gemini. Gemini spacecraft in orbit was much bigger than what you see, when you look at one that came back, because it has thrown away its modules behind it, and it's also lost the nose section, which came off in the parachute landing. So what you see is the basic crew cabin of Gemini. Gemini VII was actually supposed to be only a 14-day endurance mission for two astronauts, Jim Lovell and Frank Borman. But in fact, it became the rendezvous target for Gemini VI. The idea of launching Gemini VI after Gemini VII was really an improvisation which was thrown together very hastily after Gemini VI could not be launched in October 1965. Someone suggested, why don't we take Gemini VI down, put it in storage, put the Gemini VII Titan II and spacecraft up on the pad, launch it, and then in a whirlwind operation, re-erect the Gemini VI vehicle so it could be launched only 10 or 12 days after the launch of Gemini VII. In fact, they had the vehicle ready 9 days after the launch of Gemini VII, and then the launch vehicle cut off shortly after the engines were ignited, and it never left the ground. A very dangerous situation. Yet somehow NASA was able to, 3 days later, launch Gemini VI and carry out the first rendezvous in history. Gemini 6 and 7 couldn't dock because there was no way for the two vehicles to join up in space, but they could maneuver close to each other and demonstrate the most important part, that is that one vehicle could maneuver, change its orbit, and meet the other object in space.